Darwin Watterson, sweet, polite, optimistic, the goldfish with legs and a heart of gold. But what if we told you he might also be one of the strongest characters in the amazing world of Gumball? Not just emotionally strong, actually powerful. He's fought monsters, survived explosions, and once literally broke time itself, all while smiling. So why do so many people overlook him? Because in a world of chaos, memes, and glitching reality, Darwin hides his strength behind kindness. But today, we're digging deeper. Just how strong is Darwin Watterson? Really? And what if his quiet personality is hiding something a lot more powerful than we ever imagined? Let's find out. Let's be real. When people think strong, they don't think of Darwin. He's soft-spoken, he cries easily. He apologizes before fighting back. In a show filled with explosive personalities, like Gumball's chaos, Ananias's genius, and Richard's unfiltered unpredictability, Darwin feels like the calm in the storm. And because he's so kind, so gentle, and so emotionally open, people assume he's weak. He's just the sidekick. He's the moral compass, not the muscle. He's cute, but he's no fighter. But that assumption, it's exactly what blinds us. Because Gumball is a show that thrives on exaggeration. Characters are thrown through walls, cities get destroyed, time resets like a joke, and Darwin, he survives all of it. Usually with a smile. That's not weakness, that's underrated resilience. He's the one who absorbs emotional damage and physical chaos without ever breaking character. And maybe that's the real pain here. Darwin doesn't show off. He doesn't need to. But it's about time we recognized the quiet power hiding in the fishbowl. So, how strong is Darwin, really? This video isn't just about muscles. It's about all the forms of strength Darwin brings to the table, and why he might be the most well-rounded character in the show. We're breaking it down across 4 major categories. Physical strength, the moments that prove Darwin can throw hands when it counts. Emotional strength, the calm core of the Watterson family. Mental strength, a silent genius hiding behind wide eyes. And finally, raw, unpredictable cartoon logic. Darwin moments that break the rules of the show, and maybe even reality itself. We'll revisit the episodes that fans still talk about. We'll pull clips that you probably missed. And by the end of this video, one thing will be clear. Darwin Watterson isn't just strong. He might be the strongest character in the amazing world of Gumball. You just didn't see it coming, because he didn't want you to. Let's dive in. You probably don't think of Darwin as a fighter, but when it comes to physical strength, he's shockingly powerful. Let's rewind to the fight. When Gumball gets into trouble with Tina Rex, the school's literal dinosaur bully, Darwin steps up to protect his brother. He doesn't hesitate, and more importantly, he doesn't lose. He takes a punch from Tina, a T-Rex punch, and survives. No broken bones, no coma. Just a bandage and a brave little face. That alone would make most characters legendary. But Darwin? He shrugs it off and keeps going. No dramatic monologue, no flexing, just pure grit hidden behind a smile. And in the void, when the laws of physics are melting and logic is unraveling, Darwin outruns a collapsing reality. Literally. The background is glitching, the world is folding in on itself, and he's sprinting like it's just another Tuesday. Do you know how strong your legs have to be to sprint through a disintegrating dimension? That's not just speed, that's reality-breaking endurance. Let's not forget the kids, where Darwin gets launched through a wall, does a triple flip in mid-air and lands, perfectly balanced, not injured, not dazed, just ready for whatever comes next. It's the kind of cartoon absurdity that only makes sense if the character is, underneath it all, built different. He's been launched, slammed, smashed, stretched, crushed more times than we can count. And unlike Richard, he doesn't bounce back because of cartoon fat or comedic immunity. He bounces back because he's resilient, quietly, consistently, and completely. Sure, he's not going to arm wrestle Mr. Small or punch through a wall like Nicole. That's not his style. But Darwin's durability? It's top tier. Quietly unstoppable. He's a soft surface over steel core. The kind of strength you don't notice until everything else has fallen apart and he's still standing. And that's just his physical strength. What's coming next might be even stronger. Because if physical strength is what gets you through an explosion, emotional strength is what gets you through a family like the Wattersons. And Darwin, he's the glue holding everything together. Think about it. Gumball is impulsive. Nicole is intense. Richard is Richard. Anais is brilliant but blunt. The Watterson household is basically a pressure cooker of conflicting energies. And Darwin? Darwin is the heart. He listens, he empathizes, he comforts, even when no one else can. In the gripes, when the family turns toxic with complaints and negativity, Darwin's the one who stays calm. He tries to keep the peace even when everyone else is unraveling. In the words, he gently teaches Gumball how to be honest without being cruel. In the apology, he encourages resolution when others would rather stay mad. That's not weakness, that's emotional maturity. And don't forget, Darwin wasn't even born a human. He's a pet goldfish who grew legs and learned humanity, which means all this emotional intelligence, he had to develop it from scratch. Through heartbreak, chaos, and growing pains, Darwin never loses his kindness. That takes strength. The kind that doesn't punch walls, but holds the people who do. In a world full of chaos, Darwin chooses compassion, and that might be the hardest choice of all. Darwin isn't just emotionally strong. He's also the family's moral compass. The one who consistently chooses what's right, even when it's hard. In a show where characters constantly cross lines, breaking laws, rules, even physics, Darwin is the one saying, maybe we shouldn't do this. In The Night, we literally hear his inner monologue as he contemplates morality, peer pressure, and doing what's best for others. That episode alone shows that Darwin has more conscience than most animated characters in kids' TV. In the awkwardness, he fights to maintain social harmony at school, even when it means confronting embarrassment head-on. In the origins, his transformation from pet to brother shows the internal strength it takes to adapt, forgive, and love, all without losing his identity. And perhaps most impressively, he challenges Gumball. He doesn't just go along with everything. He stands up for himself, for others, for what he believes in. That's a different kind of strength, one that isn't flashy, but in a family where everyone else reacts, Darwin reflects. He's the anchor, the steady hand, the one who, without even trying, keeps the Wattersons from falling apart. And honestly, that's a job that would break most people. Here's a truth most fans miss. Darwin isn't just Gumball's sidekick. He's his equal, and sometimes even his better. Sure, Gumball's the idea guy, the instigator, the one with the wild schemes. But Darwin? He's the one who thinks through consequences. In the plan, Darwin creates an intricate, multi-step escape plan that actually works. He calculates, anticipates, and even outsmarts Gumball's chaos. In The Limit, when the family is on the verge of completely melting down in a supermarket showdown, Darwin's the first one to recognize the pattern and tries to calm them down logically. He may seem emotionally driven, but don't mistake that for lacking brains. Darwin is mentally resilient. He handles pressure better than most, he learns quickly, he adapts. And unlike Gumball, he doesn't need to be the center of attention to solve problems. That's mental strength, not just IQ, but EQ, flexibility, and strategic thinking. And in a universe that constantly bends logic, Darwin's ability to stay centered while still navigating the absurd is a superpower in itself. So no, he's not just a cheerful goldfish with legs. He's a quiet strategist, wrapped in politeness. And that might make him even more dangerous than anyone realizes. Now let's talk about the weird stuff. Because Gumball isn't just a cartoon, it's a meta-cartoon. And Darwin? He's done things that defy the laws of reality, even within the show's logic. In The Triangle, Darwin literally clones himself with emotions. He splits into different versions of himself, each representing a different side of his personality. How many characters do you know that can duplicate based on emotional energy? In The Night, he somehow becomes aware of other characters' inner monologues and responds to them. That's fourth wall awareness. In The Oracle, he breaks a prophecy, changing the future with sheer force of will. Oh, and let's not forget when Darwin floats, glows, or randomly materializes objects. Sometimes it's played for laughs, but it proves one thing. Darwin doesn't just survive the logic of the Gumball universe, he bends it. He's not just emotionally, physically, and mentally strong. He might be cosmically strong, but hiding it behind fishy innocence. And honestly, that makes him the most dangerous kind of powerful, the kind that doesn't even know its own limits. Some fans say Darwin's secretly a cosmic entity. Some say he's the show's emotional core made sentient. But here's what we know. Darwin isn't just strong. He's every kind of strong. Emotional, physical, moral, even meta. And that makes him one of the most underrated characters in all of animation. If you see Darwin differently now, drop a comment. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because sometimes the quietest characters have the loudest power.